Welcome to another episode of Crime Scene Time Machine. As always, I'm your host, Scott Roeder, and I love you, planet Earth. Today, we're going to be covering a couple things. First off, we're going to be reading some comments about my and Jim Quirk's appearance on Surviving the Survivor, the place where you get your best guests in true crime, and sometimes they cover other stuff like UFOs. We're also going to be talking about the Cybertruck um, alleged suicide bomber, Matt Livelsberger, as well as the current state of the drone situation going on in the world today. But first, let's get into some notes on how the people in the world reacted to the Surviving the Survivor episode. So we have 133,000 views and 1.4 thousand comments. Let's go with some of the comments right off the start. From Carrie Gallagher, 1912, says, I do not understand why the viewing numbers are so low when you do these shows. I just don't get it, but I'm so glad that you were covering this topic, and at least over 1,000 of us are here. So thank you for that, Carrie Gallagher. Seattle Kiwi says, any chance you guys could cover the Miami New Year's 2024 event? The alien type beings at the mall where 60 plus police cars were called in, got weird real quick. Video was confiscated. Witnesses were intimidated. Where police said to family members they couldn't talk about the incident. I still hypothesize something very odd happened that night in Miami. Kiwi, Seattle, I agree with you. I think something very bizarre happened on that day. Unfortunately, we just don't have access to uncorrupted video footage. So until some of that comes out, it's going to be difficult to properly analyze what happened there. Although I do believe that that case has some phenomenal aspects to it, and I would like to get into it once we have some more verified footage. From Survivor C, I'm glad you're doing other topics. Me too. I'll like that. From Red Car Girl, I'm glad you're covering this. I remember the fear in the voices of those family members when they were interviewed. I think they went back and interviewed one of the teens another time. He was still shook. Yes, he was. From King Cali 49, 7 years ago, I was camping and woke up early and noticed the tops of a bunch of young trees were moving in a strange way. So I locked in on them and I seen what I can only describe as a 5-foot predator. It noticed me looking at it and started to swing unnaturally down the trees, and I freaked out and woke up my partner, and she walked over to the trees as I just laid on the ground, and it literally started vibrating and sunk into the ground. The whole incident almost put me into a psych ward. My whole worldview was shattered, and to this day, I get spooked by sounds at night. Wow, that is terrifying. I'm so sorry you had that experience. From Ted Lang 25, holy cow, that's the same type of being that abducted me in 1968. I can never forget those eyes. At first glance, I was paralyzed and it spoke to me telepathically inside of my head. I'm 68 years old now, and it happened to me when I was 12 years old in the mid-afternoon. They came in a flying saucer. Now they can make themselves invisible. Oh man, these beings have incredible mental abilities. Those eyes, holy crap. Wow, that's an incredible story. And Ted Lang, if you want to get a hold of me, you can reach me at scottroder@gmail.com, and I'd love to have you on as a guest to the show. We could talk about it. Bill Davis, 1148, says, at first I was skeptical about the Las Vegas case when I heard about it. After watching Jim and Scott present the evidence, I am 100% convinced it is real. Thank you, Bill. I am 100% convinced too. Here we go from Angela Paul. She says, so I live in Vegas. The day after the backyard incursion, I hate that word incursion, but whatever. The day of the backyard incursion, a government vehicle arrived and placed a camera on the roof of that house. It was removed shortly after, and it got lots of media attention. I agree, that did happen, and it was, I think, Homeland Security that placed that camera there. This was so good. Finally, someone proved this is real and has indisputable evidence to the fact. Wonderful job, my brothers. Keep up the good work and the fight. God bless us all, this nation. We need it so badly. That's from Becky Riley, 2674. Thank you so much, Becky. That makes me so happy. I appreciate that. I'll give that a big old thumbs up too. From Susie Rocks. She says, hope everyone enjoyed their holiday break and have a good rest. Okay, thank you. From Ray Hall. 7759. He says, thank you, Scott, Jim, and especially you, Joel, for taking this subject seriously without the giggle factor. Me too. Except for Jim's video. That was awesome. I'm going to watch it again. Why didn't you like Jim's video? I thought Jim's video was great. Absolute proof. It's the only brand you can trust. Listen, the reason Ray, send this directly to Ray Hall, 7759. The reason why, excuse my sniffles and sneezings, despite my tropical backdrop, I am in Cleveland, Ohio, and it's freezing cold. I just got back from walking the dogs and go grocery shopping, so I'm a little bit stuffy today, so excuse me. But the reason why we put that together, that kind of infomercial, was to condense the material into under 4 minutes, because we know that people have a very short attention span. And I feel like most people would appreciate a condensed version. And it's a really good way to get people's attention. I'm sorry you didn't like that it was a little bit tongue in cheek, but I'm glad, very happy that you loved the rest of the episode. And I thank you for watching. There were 2 replies to that. I volunteer for the jury. Okay, you're in. Jim's tongue-in-cheek video are a blast to watch. Okay, thank you, Randy McKernan and Dawn Mason. Very lovely replies. So far, the comments are just fantastic. Of course, STS Nation has the best guests and the best listeners. I mean, period. Okay, here's from Kathy Maritime 803. Oh my gosh, I spent all weekend watching videos on UAP UFOs. I'm starting to believe it's real. Very bizarre. Excellent, Kathy. This is from Colleen Ross 8486. Glad to see you, Scott Roeder. Congratulations on the new little baby. Thank you very much, Colleen. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. This is from TCR Honey. The reason all footage or photos of these things are blurry is because of our devices. The best photos of these things are from the 1940s and 1980 through the 1980s. The reason that they are is because they were clearer back then, is because we were using 35 millimeter film. Good point. Very, very good point. I think I agree with you. I'll give you a thumbs up on that. This has so much I've never seen before. Great content. Thank you so much, Colleen. This is from My Eyes Went Deaf, 6213. Great name. My Eyes Went Deaf. That's beautiful. The Nevada backyard alien case is probably the most amazing case of our lifetimes. Absolutely. You're 100% correct. From Felicia in Texas. If I created a Texas trash bar band, I'm naming it Backyard Aliens. Compliments of these Las Vegas visitors. Seriously, though, these aliens crack me up. I can hear them say, stay real still. Don't move. They can't see us. Absolutely. They crack me up. These little critters, they didn't even know we could catch them, but we got them. We got them. It's over, baby. We got them. Okay. Good job, Jim and Scott. Proud of you guys. Keep fighting the good fight. From Lane U1X. Thank you, Lane U1X. From April Fire 2101. I find it hard to see what they featured in the clips. I wish they had used the pointer to draw out what is supposed to be the alien faces. That's fine. If you go to my channel, well, if you're watching this, you'll see it on my channel, because on my channel we do outline them. We didn't have control over the videos on STS. Joel's wife was doing that. She did a great job. We thank her for that. And I thank Joel for letting me be on that show, because it's a great show. It's got a huge audience. It's got the best guests, the best audience members, period, without a doubt. By listening to these, reading these messages, it just proves to you that you guys are smart as can be. And the true crime audience is smart, period. Hard stop. It's just the truth. Lady Stardust says, thank you for airing this. Thank you. Robert Dadaboo says, maybe there wasn't two different UFOs. Maybe the small one was an emergency pod that was ejected from the larger ship, knowing that they're about to crash. Excellent point. That is absolutely a possibility. From Rock Cop 19, from Rock Cop 913. One day, we, the people, and aliens and UFOs will all collide together. Yep, you're probably right. From Finn 2423, I have video of an ET coming through and going from an orb to a physical shape. Let me know if you want to see it. Yeah, I do. I'm going to send that message to you right here. Send it to me, scottroder@gmail.com. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. So a lot of comments. I'm just been going in order. Chris Z9E. I love it. First the aliens crash, then they run a Chinese fire drill. Absolutely. From Candy Lord 6690. Thank you for covering this topic. Aloha. Aloha to you, Candy Lord 6690. Another one from Colleen Ross. Again, shiny eyes are what I can't get over. Bill Davis says, big Jim Quirk fan in the house. Let's roll. Hello to Scott Roeder. Thank you for your hard work, brother. Thanks, Bill Davis. The UFO Reality 1122 says, amazing. Of course, they're going to say this. Amazing job, guys. This isn't even on the radar of major UFO world players, and that is not a good look. Scott Roeder has done a top-notch job. This is amazing. Thank you so much, the UFO Reality 1122. I appreciate you very, very much. Joe Rogan just dropped a podcast a few hours ago after watching, and I guess knowing it for a while now, in the past few days, literally not even a full week, I came to have some types of overwhelming realization at the same time with my mom that can't express or explain in words. We were both in tears of joy. Thank you, guys. It's funny that you mentioned Joe Rogan, because we might be having a chat soon. Awesome breakdown with photos. Thank you, Christine Murphy. My worlds are colliding. Never thought I'd see Joel talking about UFOs. Yeah, baby. Charlie Hildebrand. Thank you, Charlie. Oops. 1984. That's so funny. Oops. 1984 reminds me of that one comedian when he gets interrupted. He's like, oops. 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 I gotta say, oops. 1984 says, each eye is the size of our head. Yeah, dude. Crazy. That's how big these things are. 8 to 10 feet tall with the eyes the size of your head. Creepy. Georgiana Meany says, you guys are great. What do we need to prepare? What we do need to be prepared to not attack or shoot these beings. Start setting our minds to control the overpowering fear that will surely occur if we encounter one or more. The fear of the unknown could be catastrophic in this type of situation. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. I agree. We should give every individual being the benefit of the doubt, whether they be from here or there or nowhere, because we cannot categorize all non-human intelligence as ETs or paranormal or interdimensional, just like we can't categorize all people accused of a crime as guilty. until they are proven guilty, right? So I think you have to handle everything on a case by case basis. I agree with you 100%. Good evening. What an interesting topic. Thank you, Astra Bjorn Sidoti. Interesting. Linda Smart says, Joel, could you get a hold of Ross Coulthart to contribute to your show? I'm sure he'll convince many people about non-human beings. Hernan Hernandez says, need to investigate the 2022 video of cloaked creature in a tree in South Carolina. I saw that. That's crazy. I would like to try to investigate that if I could get the original footage. See, that's the thing about what makes this case so interesting, the Vegas case, is we have first generation video footage with access to the people who are in it and who took the footage. That's what makes it so compelling. Also, what makes it so compelling is that we have a whole documented situation around the Vegas case. It's all right there. We laid it out on the show. I don't have to tell you guys it's on the show. And if you're watching my channel, I don't have to tell you either. This is more for people who are visiting us for the first time. And if you're visiting us for the first time, welcome to the Crime Scene Time Machine. You're here because you're interested in the truth. And the truth is the UFO phenomenon is real, and we proved it. Okay, so a lot of great. Yeah, you're back on STS. Thank you, Susie Rocks. I love you. Absolutely fascinating. Dawn Mays, thank you. Great show. Tinky Tink. Quirk Zone, outstanding. From Christina 11. If they are real, and I don't doubt they are, they actually are kind of cute. From Social Deb. They're scared. They seem scared. That's an interesting point. So I was on the Whitley Strieber show, and Whitley said, and Whitley and I were talking about the nature of why they always come around in the dark. And that's because they have very weak bodies. Even though they might be big, 8, 10 feet tall, they're very weak because their powers are mental, telepathical, psychokinetical. That's not even a word. Psychokinesis, whatever. They have these psycho-based powers, mind control. And that's really what gives them their power. So when they're caught off guard or in the daytime, I think that's when they're weak. So we'll see. We'll see when we finally get to meet one face to face in the light of day. Such a great episode. Thank you. Fantastic. Wow. What great. Thank you so much, STS Nation. And thank you so much. I love you guys over at STS Nation. This could be the only time I've ever read through, I've probably read through 50 comments here. Not one negative comment about the content. So that goes to show you out there, guys. If this is any sampling to the jury, all these messages, over 1,000 messages. And there might be a couple of ones in there. Let's see if I can find anybody that disagrees. Sounds like a Stephen Merchant. Sounds like Stephen Merchant in a suit. Oh, okay. Stephen Merchant. He's that real tall guy. It's funny. Two things that make me dubious about this is that it's in America and they look like Steven Spielberg designed them. Or maybe Steven Spielberg based his designs off of something real. I'm confused what happened to the video when the office got to the house. When the police got to the house? Okay. So please don't let me figure out what I'm looking at when they show the little gray man. I cannot make heads or tails of it. That's fine. Some people won't. Okay. Some of these are funny comments. Yeah, they are a good family. There's no reason for them to lie. A lot of people are asking about the South Carolina invisible tree guy. I interested in another one volunteering for the jury. I believe the Kenmore family. I absolutely see it. Thank you, Jim Quirk. You guys are the best. War of the Worlds. Alien got a big ass head and they were right on top of it, which is a stretch. Still fun to watch. Oh, okay. That seems like the only negative one. I believe. Where do I find the Scott Roeder report? And I will just say, I'll reply back. I can email you a copy. Send me a message at scottroeder@gmail.com. Okay, there we go. So there we go. We got a ton of comments, just really great footage. I'm going to create a post here onto my page, and we're just going to put it out there. Special thanks to Joel for having me and Jim on. The STS Nation audience is the best. All right, so I'm going to post that. I just posted that STS video to my YouTube page, Scott Roeder at Crime Scene. And remember, you can also find me on Spotify, Crime Scene Time Machine on Spotify. So we'll take this moment for a little break. We're running advertisements now, so that's why I'm making a little kind of a little break here. Okay. And we're back. Thanks for staying with us. So I want to talk a little bit about the Matthew Livisberger case. He is the Green Beret who's being accused of being the deceased suicide bomber, I guess you would call it, with that Tesla Cybertruck outside of the Trump Tower in Las Vegas. A couple things I want to talk about it. One, there's no verification that it's him yet. The police said his body was burned beyond recognition. However, luckily enough, in the explosion, his passport made it out alive. Reminds me of when after 9/11, one of the FBI guys were walking around on the streets of 9/11 and they just looked down and they found a passport for Muhammad Atta. His passports must be made of really some sturdy material. So that makes me a little bit suspicious. Also, they said that right before the bomb went off, this improvised explosive device inside of the Tesla, that right before that happened, he killed himself with a Desert Eagle 50 caliber. How do you know it was right before? I looked at the video footage. I didn't see any muzzle flash prior to the explosion. And in a self-driving car, that body in there could have been dead for a day. And then somebody's put it in the driver's seat, set it to the location it was set to. And it drove there and parked there. And then the bomb exploded. It's possible. It's possible. The body is burned beyond recognition, so we're going to need DNA and dental records to match this guy up to the body. And then people are talking about the suicide note. I read it. I don't think it's technically a suicide note. More of it is an explanation of why this was going on. It's a weird thing. I can't really get my mind around it yet. We need more information to come out. I'm not sure it's a suicide. I'm not 100% sure it's even Matthew Livisberger. He said in the note that he was trying to go to Mexico. He was trying to get away. And then even in a note to his wife, he said, "I feel like Batman." Did you know that 10 years ago, he won America's Greatest Warrior on the History Channel? This guy still had an active clearance. According to his LinkedIn page, he was had UAP or UFO clearance in the military, as well as drone clearance. So he knew some stuff. And we do know that there were wars against humanity perpetrated by the American military in Afghanistan and Iraq. probably other places around the world, Syria, so on and so forth. We know that because of Julian Assange and Edward Snowden and those other guys, those whistleblowers that gave up their lives almost, certainly gave up their American privileges to blow those whistles. WikiLeaks, remember that, guys? WikiLeaks. So, I think let's not judge this book too quickly. And here's the thing that makes me suspicious is when the media immediately in lockstep all has the same story, almost like they cut and pasted it. Matter of fact, have you ever seen that one video? I'll pull it up now. It's a video about, actually, I'll just find it here on YouTube. It's a video which shows how the media the news media is in locks on the same message. Yeah. So listen, this is what, and also the New Orleans case and this case and some of the drone stuff, the media sounds like this.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility.
The news site Deadspin recently produced a mashup video that went viral and unsettled many Americans.
Plaguing our country.
It exposed how America's largest broadcaster forced its local anchors to read an Orwellian script. The Sinclair Broadcasting Group demanded its local anchors recite the same lines, demonizing media and sowing distrust, with warnings like this.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
What's worse, if you actually watch Sinclair's programming, you'll see they violate almost everything they warn against.
So far, no hearings on the big uranium deal.
That's right. That's a Sinclair host promoting the debunked conspiracy theory that Hillary Clinton gave away 20% of America's uranium to Russia.
That could involve kickbacks to the Clinton Foundation.
Oh, and here's another segment alluding to the baseless conspiracy theory that a Democratic staffer was murdered for leaking party emails to WikiLeaks.
There's a theory Democratic National Committee emails were given to WikiLeaks by a DNC whistleblower who was later gunned down. Maybe it was him. Maybe it was the Russians.
And what about this warning?
Some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to...
Personal bias? Well, Sinclair actually has an entire syndicated segment that does exactly that. The host is a former Trump media advisor. Local Sinclair stations are forced to broadcast his pieces multiple times.
So there you go. So it's not just Sinclair media. It's also Clear Channel Communications. See, here's the thing that you guys, I want people to remember. It's the 1%. The 1% have 95% of the world's wealth. And all of these stories about everything almost is to divide that 95% up into little categories. So we got black versus white, we got male versus female, we've got conservative versus liberal, we've got rich versus poor, we've got meat eaters versus vegetarians, we got the Browns versus the Steelers, we got the Yankees versus the Dodgers, and we want to break everybody up and put them in a little box so that they fight with somebody else. When really, we should all just be plotting to eat the trillionaires. Eat the rich, I say. Eat the rich. I mean, think about that. I'm just kidding. I don't want anybody to eat the rich. I'm not for cannibalism. But, you look at what's going on in the world today. For example, Luigi Mangione. Luigi, to many people, is a hero. Now, it's hard to say that out loud because a lot of people, reasonable people, think he's a hero. because we all know that health insurance companies are total garbage. We all know that they're garbage. However, did you know that the health insurance companies are more profitable than the pharmaceutical companies? And what do health insurance companies do? They certainly don't pay your bill. And if you're a high level executive for a health insurance company, taking $100 million bonus and having an $8 million a year salary, yet say my girlfriend had a mammogram, a premeditative mammogram, and it cost $2,000, and they covered $1,000 of it. My wife passed away 9 years ago, Sarah. She had cancer, and they bled every penny from us. So forgive me if I don't shed a tear for an executive who should have known that their company directly leads to the death of other people. Yet we're supposed to get riled up about Luigi Mangione taking this guy out. Is murder wrong? Yes. Did he do it? I don't know. The evidence is not out yet. Certainly, one thing I do know, and why I talk about this case in the context of the media, is the media was 100% in lockstep. He did it. He did it. He did it. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Not yet, because we have the presumption of innocence. The evidence has been leaked, I think, inappropriately to the media, and then the media just all lockstep. They're like, "Oh, it's Luigi Mangione," right? Just like this Matthew Livesberger case, he's lockstep, and the media's out there, and boom, they got the story, right? And I'm very disappointed in the independent media. I feel like the independent media has been co-opted by the cast-offs or the spies of the mainstream media. So let's keep the independent media independent, right? Let's not take our orders from people. Yeah. If we want to get a big guest, that's fine. But you set the rules, right? Like I set the rules for my show. I'm not letting anybody come onto my show and direct my narrative, right? Because I'm an independent person. I have my own personal views on things. These are my personal opinions. Some of these are more than personal opinions. They're my scientific hypothesis, right? But it's up to us as independent presenters, journalists, commentators, analysts, whatever entertainers, to hold on to our independence and not follow lockstep behind people out there that are doing what they're told. Because I, for one, don't do what I'm told. I do what I want to do. And hopefully it's in God's will and I'm doing the right thing, which I try to do. And I'm going to continue to try to do. And with that, I want to thank everybody for coming into the Crime Scene Time Machine today, thinking about the waves of the world crashing down all around us. But we are in a place of peace and love and forgiveness. So remember, love somebody. And with that, until next time, bye.